Here we go. What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League podcast. Back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got the co-host, Amanda. Amanda, we made it all the way through the season. We're finally to the Super Bowl. What a season, huh?
It's been drama, man. This season was crazy. I liked it. It was fun. It was a good ride.
Yeah, John, another great season. Thanks for coming on all season long, man. It's been awesome, and we made it to the Super Bowl. Are you excited for the big game?
I am. I'm gonna go down on Thursday. Just do a little event with Arthur Blank, and I'm coming right back on Friday because I still got school. You know how it is, man. You gotta do what's important. I'm sure that Amanda understands that. You know, when it comes to the kids and having to do certain things, she has been exceptional this year for making her
Yeah.
way to get on these casts. So y'all got to give her like a round of applause if y'all out there sitting at home because if y'all knew how hard she worked just to get up here and to talk for an hour and a half and then have to run and get one of the kids. So
Pushing
so
the
be
kids
able
away during the
to,
episode.
big ups
Meanwhile,
to
kicking Alex's ass in the pigs while doing all that.
all that,
Unbelievable.
all the above.
Amanda's been getting a ton of praise lately. She's killing it. Um, Amanda, you're not happy, however, with your Buffalo Bills. Uh, they were in it though. A great game against the Chiefs, and to me, the biggest thing that stood out is they had an opportunity. 3 minutes left, only down three. That was an opportunity for Josh Allen to go win it or at least tie it, and he couldn't get it done. Credit to Steve Spagnuolo, a great blitz call on that third down or on that fourth down. What were your thoughts from that game? I know it sucks to see the Chiefs back in it again, but you know,
Well, for me, I'm the one thing I requested from the universe in our preview episode was I don't mind if the Chiefs win. Like the Chiefs are a great team. They've won a lot of close games. Yeah, there's been a bit of controversy about some calls. I just wanted whoever won for there not to be the oh, it was the refs or like any of these weird shady looking calls that seem to have affected games. I just wanted it to be a clear-cut winner. But we get to the
yeah,
end of the game, the second to last possession for the Bills. And there's three plays in a row where there's some weird stuff like, oh, was that a first down? No. Okay. Is this one? Yes. And they go with the ref's call, who did not have a clear line of sight to where the ball was. He was
yeah,
behind a defender. As he stepped around the defender, Josh Allen had the ball over the line. And if replay review is there to fix things and correct issues and stuff, I just don't understand how we're still getting stuff wrong. Like if the Chiefs had won by 20 points, I would have been like I would be super happy with them. But I don't like the drama and it seeming like there are things that are happening that are out of the player's control. Yes, should
yeah.
they have scored on that final possession? Absolutely. But at some point, it's got to be really hard to silence the voices in your head saying, well, it doesn't matter even if we did get it, it would just get called back on some bullshit. Like
Yeah.
it when you feel like you're fighting the other team and the refs in a game, it's hard to get out of that mindset like, oh, it doesn't matter what we do. We just had two first down conversions they didn't give us. Like we could have a touchdown here and there'd be some, oh no, offsides or some late flag. Like, can you just hear them like, oh, Tony, it looks like we've got a late flag here. Like, ugh.
Well, and
But shout out.
they threw a flag, right? Or they said there was a flag on the play on that fourth down. And what sucked the worst part about that was Dalton Kincaid had that catch in his hands. John, do you think it's 2025 now? Do you think we should move on past the two guys with sticks and just the visual of a first down and not put a chip in the ball and have that tennis type technology where you can tell exactly where the ball is?
I think it's going to get that to a certain extent, but I think having the players and I mean, sorry, having the refs there and having a real person's eye is what makes the game, fun. I mean,
Yeah,
like that, like I think having the refs and seeing them make the calls because if you do that, then we're going to have like computers trying to make holding calls. Like you're gonna have
yeah,
like you have people in booths like calling downstairs, and it takes away from a real game. You know what I mean? Because there's all kind of stuff that doesn't get called. But
Yeah.
but I will say this, and I'm gonna give Amanda a big pat on the back for her quarterback. I think Kincaid, if Kincaid catches that,
Yeah.
we
yeah,
might be different. And I'm not trying to, but I didn't know it was when you watched it. Like I think all three of us was in the same. When we watched it, like he had no way of catching. It's just like he threw it random. Like I didn't even know he knew Kincaid was there, but he is a quarterback. He knows the plays, but he was pretty much wide open, and it didn't look that way when you seen the throw. It was just like, oh, game over. And I'm looking like, oh, it hit him in the hands. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
hey,
That
Yeah.
was a beautiful throw.
like no, yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said when like everything Amanda was saying, like if that get catches, she like, okay, you
Mhm.
won. You won the conversation about MVP. You won all that shit because you're right. Because
Yeah.
that one pass summed up like the reason why he's great. Because I
Yeah.
didn't know that the guy was that open lane. He threw it and he just dropped the pass. I'm looking like, because when I was watching the game, I was just like, okay, he's playing fucking awesome. He's playing good. I'm picking him up. Da da da. And I seen that play because I was like, oh yeah, that was a terrible play to call at the end of the game. But then I seen that
Yeah.
throw and I was like, that's a terrible throw. And I seen it. I said, that's gonna be an interception. I'm like, oh, he knew the guy was there. But then
Mhm.
the
Well,
one thing that
that's a theme for this year's playoffs. We've seen what, three players drop a game-winning pass at the end
Yeah.
zone. Like this is a repeat thing here. And I'm heartbroken for the Bills, obviously, but the Chiefs made it. They're in. Like, I'm excited to see how this matchup goes. Like, the Chiefs haven't played a defense that's been as scrappy as this Eagles defense, nor have they played a team that's as good as on the ground as they are. So I'm really excited to see these matchups because I like this Chiefs defense. Had some player changes, some personnel changes. My favorite man isn't on the team anymore. But I'm intrigued to see how the Super Bowl goes.
Yeah,
yeah,
the Eagles Commanders was a great game. The score doesn't indicate it, but going into the fourth quarter, it was a, close game. John, how much credit do you give the Eagles defense for finally shutting down rookie Jaden Daniels, who had an incredible year and finally ran up against a team that was just too loaded, probably roster wise, right?
and they had what 7 rushing touchdowns. They ain't had nothing to do with Jaden. They just out muscled their team, man. Like
Yeah.
from the first play to the end of the game, it had nothing to do with Jaden. Like even if he played bad or not, they scored 55 points, dog. Let's be real. Like I don't
Yeah.
give a shit. You ain't seen that. This is a playoff game, and they just out muscled. They just outplayed. They just out maneuvered them. This was just mano a mano. This was nothing about like what Jaden can and can't do, him doing. Nah, man, they just muscled the shit out of them the whole game. And I think I don't know if it's going to be as easy against Kansas City, but I definitely think they got to keep that same regime. Don't
Mhm.
worry about all these people on ESPN and all these other stuff talking about how, oh, Jalen Hurts ain't doing this. Fuck that. We trying to
They
win a
don't need
championship.
him to do it.
We
Whatever they're
trying
doing
Yeah.
is
we're
working.
trying to win a championship, and y'all worrying about Jaden not getting the ball to this guy. Or he's not going to be happy. You think they give a shit? I'm winning the game. Like I'm telling you, I tell people all the time, man. I didn't give a damn. My last couple of years in the league, I ain't give a damn how we won. I don't care. I don't care if Julio scored. I ain't care if Roddy scored. I ain't give a shit. So you think they care?
Mhm.
Hopefully they're smart enough to know and not try to read into the media and try to go to some kind of crazy passing game. The running game is your game. Stick to that. But I can say one thing that still scares me about Kansas City. The last play to Perrine, that might have been the nicest fucking play I ever seen in my life. Like
Yeah.
It was clean.
that's what scares me. When this is what make Kansas City a great team. Like they needed a first down, and the play Perrine ain't touched the ball the whole year.
Mhm.
Everybody running this way, everybody going through it to a wide open. Like Perrine, I was just like, yeah, they gonna win the Super Bowl. If they keep doing plays like this. No, the play fucked me up because I was looking like, wow. And think about
Perine,
it.
Yeah.
yeah, he was
Defense,
open.
a defense knowing it, like this is a final play to take you to the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
No fucking stress. Hey, run
Yeah.
this. Like, this is a play to take you to the Super Bowl, and it was just like this. Hey, run this. They were like, oh, we run.
Oh, that was MVS last year. Like this man did nothing all season. They hate
Yeah.
on him. You get him in the postseason. They just need you for one good play a game. You get open. Like nobody trusts you because I mean MVS
Exactly.
dropped the ball constant, like literally and figuratively dropped the ball for Green Bay. He goes to
Mhm.
the Chiefs. All he needs is one good play in the postseason. Like, and they have great calling, great coaching. Andy Reid said he's coming back. Like this Chiefs team isn't bad. I have nothing against them personally. I just wish that Chiefs fans got to celebrate the win and not have to defend their team against like, no, no, it wasn't. The rest didn't help us win. Like when you have like, and as a Packers fan, I kind of commiserate a little bit with them because I mean, I can't tell you how many times there were calls that went in Aaron Rodgers' favor and rules that changed specifically for our quarterback.
Yep.
And as a Bears fan, Alex knows how it feels. It sucks having to be like, yay, we made it this far, but I feel a little shitty about it because like we kind of got some calls skewed our direction. Like it's just you don't get to like fully revel in the postseason experience when everyone's telling you your team is only there because of the refs or because of a call or because your quarterback flopped and got 15 yards. Like it kind of takes away from it a little bit.
Well, that's what the haters are going to say when they get beat. I mean, I sit up here and hate on the Chiefs all season long for the calls, but Chiefs fans don't care. Chiefs fans shouldn't care. They should enjoy it. They're winning. They might be in the midst of a three-peat. As a Bulls fan, did I care at all that Jordan gave Brian Russell a little shove before the game winner? Absolutely not. You know, 2 three-peats. I was excited as hell. So the fans shouldn't be upset. They should enjoy it. No team has ever three-peated, and this is going to be a tough matchup, even if they get some calls in their favor. John, this Eagles team, I think, is better than the Eagles team they played 2 years ago and going to give them a real threat in this game. And also with Joe Thuney moving to left tackle, that opens up. Jalen Carter's got a better matchup. So that middle with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and those guys, that could be a problem for Kansas City. The Eagles' D-line is no joke.
I think one thing is that I think Pacheco might be more in the game than we think because they've been resting him pretty much. You know, they've been kind of like, and I think they want to keep the time of possession just like Philadelphia does. I don't see it being it might be a gunslinging type game.
No,
I can see that like look, let's just try to be the last person to score.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't
I feel
trying to
like
be
it's
like,
going to be a 24-21 situation.
yeah, something like that. You know, like
40 plus. Like I love me a good shootout. These postseason games this year, Detroit, Washington, that shit was so fun. But I don't think it's going to happen in this one. I think it's going to be a bit cleaner, a bit more
Yeah.
focused on not turning the ball over, keeping it clean. Like we don't have big balls Dan Campbell in anymore. Like we've gotten rid of the coaches that are just balls to the wall in these games. And I mean, this is Andy Reid's 6th Super Bowl appearance. He's tied with Don Shula for the second most of all time behind Belichick. Like he knows what he's doing. And this Eagles team is so much better than the 2022 team that, gave up their lead to the Chiefs and let the Chiefs win 38-35. I think this matchup is so, so much better. And their running game is better, their defense is better. So I'm really excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah, let's go Eagles. And John, an interesting thing, a big reason why the Chiefs beat the Bills is because they knew through studying the film that on those quarterback sneaks, Josh Allen always goes left. And the Chiefs were ready for that. That's why they were having so much trouble on those sneaks. I wonder if the Chiefs can figure something out about the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, or does he not go left all the time? And that's just much harder. That should be something the Bills are self-scouting themselves, right?
Yeah, but can we be honest? This is not about the players. This is going to be about the coaches, whoever can out-coach. And kind of what you're saying is, I don't think there are going to be a lot of replicated plays from what we've seen before. I think sure you're going to have your basic run plays because you want to get a like consistent thing going, but they're going to have different things. This is the Super Bowl, man. Like this is like me personally, if I was Philly, I would just try to keep Kansas City off the field as much as possible. I would feed shit out of Saquon. I don't care. Look, this is the last game of the fucking year. Do you get times? Like you're gonna be tired. You're gonna like you might get MVP of this game, and I'm like Jalen, we love you, and we're gonna get. I know we're gonna get in third and longs because that's a part of football, but we're gonna try our damnedest to keep this ball like third and short, third and this, so we can do the tush push. We gotta. It's got to be keeping Kansas because it's just like when you see Mahomes come and it's like down by 3 or down by 4, and it's the fourth quarter and a minute left, the game over. He gonna do shit. Like every time you see him, like they got to be up by 14 or something. Because every time you see him, when it's like the game is, it's like every time his swag, he walks on the field like, okay, let's go ahead and win the game. It's like nothing changes. Like it's literally like he's just so used to it, and the guy ain't even 30 years old yet, but he just walks on the field like every time. It's like if it's 15 to 13, they need this, and oh man, here he comes. He just walks on the field. He just jogs on the field like this.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. Like every time, like his stats, like when it comes to fourth quarter, is ridiculous, man. So, like I said, if I'm Philly, I'm like, look, Saquon, you're going to get it 30 times. I don't care. Like, I don't care if it's third and long. We're going to give it to you because he has the biggest opportunity to break it for a long run. When it comes to anybody, he has the most longest runs over 40 yards and over 60 yards. So I'm giving it to you, like, because we see if you get the ball, you can take it to the house. So I'm going to take my chances on third and long and just give it to you.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
We know what the strengths are of these teams. Are there specific weaknesses in these teams you guys are kind of keeping an eye on coming to the Super Bowl matchup?
I would say just the lights for the younger guys on the D line. Because even though, they won championships at Georgia and stuff like that, but with Philly, I can say just the experience. Because right now, they're just floating on things. When it gets to the point that you're about to sack, the best quarterback in the league, are you going to tense up? Are you going to be scared to, like, am I going to hit this guy the wrong way? Am I going to get a penalty? Like, I think the penalties, because people are so scared to get a penalty on him now because they're so easy. Like, people are like, oh, it's going to be about the officials. So I think on both sides are kind of thinking about that situation. I think Kansas City just has a better aspect because they've been there so many times. Yeah. Like, only thing I can see them fearing is not winning the three-peat. Like, they have nothing to lose, and it sounds bad, but they're the best team. They don't have shit to lose. Like, the only people that can lose this game is Philly. Like, Kansas City, if they don't win, like, it's just like Philly. Like, Kansas City, if Kansas City loses this game, they still good. Like, they still still consider like the best. Like, okay, they got beat this game, but they still are like that's the kind of team. Like, when Tom Brady lost those couple of Super Bowls, he still was the best team. Like, next year he can come back and still win it. So it's about just, man, get your fucking Eli Manning on, bro. Like, fuck it. Like, let's just get this. We gonna get this shit. You know what I mean? This is second time around, and a lot of times they said if you lose the first time, you don't win the second. So let's break some records, man. Shit.
Yeah, and Amanda, they were talking about how, remember when Saquon could have broke the record and he decided to sit week 18. What better way to make up for that than give Saquon the Super Bowl MVP? And so feed the shit out of him. He's, like John said, he's the biggest game breaker that, can break off long touchdowns. And to me, a big weakness that we'll see if the Chiefs can overcome it is what I talked about, that Mike Caliendo at left guard going up against Jalen Carter. And they might have to double him, with Creed Humphrey or whatever. But that the trenches is going to be key. If the Chiefs are running the ball with success with Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, that opens up everything else. If you stuff the run game and force Mahomes to beat you, then maybe you can get pressure on him and get a turnover or two or something.
That's my concern. He was sacked 36 times this season, the most in his career, another 5 times in the postseason. Like, they've had 3 different players benched before at left tackle before settling on Joe Thuney. Like, they've had to work at this position, and it's still got some holes in it. And they shifted him from outside from left guard. Like, so they're still working on this O-line situation, and Mahomes is open to some hits. Like, that O-line is their one weakness. So, I mean, you put pressure on them, you shut the run down. I do think I absolutely agree with you there. And then, the other side of the ball, the Eagles, we know they have a great run game. Their defense has been great. Their run game has been great. Their area of issue, and I agree with John where he says, don't listen to the media. Like, A.J. Brown only had 2 catches in the postseason. Like, they still won games. Like, they're still in the Super Bowl. Does it really matter? However, with that conservative approach, lying on the run game, I feel like it's a little bit more obvious what they're going to do. Like, the scheme borders on a little bit predictable. And when you're up against Andy Reid, you cannot be predictable. Like, and the Chiefs defense has been pretty good. So I feel like you have to go a little bit more into the passing game in this one because the Chiefs know what to look for. Like, they've been watching all your game tapes. Everyone's seen you all season. Yeah, we know we need to stuff the run, but who are you going to throw it to? Like, Devontae Smith, fantastic. A.J. Brown, fantastic. But they haven't been getting that much action on the field. So I'm interested to see how much they skew towards the run game in this one versus passing plays.
Yeah, and I think Jalen Hurts could do a lot to help the team out by using his legs as well. That's definitely a weapon of his. And Take some pressure off of Saquon, open some things up that way. John, do you think Jalen Hurts needs to use his legs in this game as well? We know Mahomes is going to.
Obviously. It's going to be have to some. Like I said, me personally, I feel like it's going to have to be a time control game. I think, like I said, I think you got to keep Kansas City off the field. Like I don't think that. Not saying that Philly. I think Philly defense is going to play well. I think the young guys could but I just hope they don't be young guys. Like the lights are too much for them. Like I said, I know they won national championships, but I think that I kind of agree with Amanda, but I also feel like if he throws a pick or he throws too much and they don't complete first downs and stuff like that, don't regret trying to do something different like the Seattle Seahawks did against New England. It's on the 1 yard line, everybody think you're gonna run the ball to beast mode and you throw it. It's just some stuff is like it's cool and everything, trick people and stuff like that. It looks good when you make it, but when you don't, you like a damn dumbass. So I don't want Philly to be like they threw the ball 30 times. Saquon had 20 carries for 50 yards. We're gonna look like
what works. But do you guys know what's funny? I was comparing the 2022 Super Bowl Eagles versus this team. Do you know that the last Super Bowl team was more efficient on the ground? With Miles Sanders as their lead back, they averaged 5.9 yards per play overall in the season.
Wow.
It's 5.6. So technically, they were more efficient. They've had way more big plays and a lot more yards total, but the average of yards per play was higher, which is
crazy,
freaking mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
I double checked the numbers 4 times. I was like, there ain't no way. I went through each game and added them up and I was like, oh shit, okay.
It's probably the quarterback sneaks, those tush pushes. That's what's bringing it down or something. I don't know, but
no, you could be right because think about it. This year has been people been going for fourth down more and that's only 1 yard. So that could be it.
Yeah, those shorter fourth down conversions have been way more popular. It's super trendy.
Yeah. Brandon Graham could be able to play in this game coming off a torn triceps. That could be, it's good for him. He's at the end of his career. If you can find a way to play in the Super Bowl.
Just get on the field for a couple plays. Let that be your last game,
Yeah. Hey, Adam, you said, hey, remember, I was like, so? I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Look, I understand you want to play in the Super Bowl again. Yeah, I get it. But at the same time, it's like these young guys been doing well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, fuck that.
John, how surprised were you to see Myles Garrett asked to be traded today? And where do you think he could go? He's a huge addition to whoever lands him.
Green Bay will take him.
Green Bay doesn't need him.
You know what's bullshit though? I have this feeling the draft is in Green Bay this year. I have a feeling, although it might be wise to trade away your first round pick and get a good defensive player, bulk up our O-line, whatever, I think that Green Bay will feel like they have to keep that first round pick because they're hosting the draft. Day one, you're gonna do nothing, at home, on TV and shit. I feel like they have to draft somebody. And I don't want them to if it's not the right move. But I feel like you have pressure when you're hosting it. I feel like you have to do something on day one. I haven't looked into it, but I'm curious how many teams have hosted the draft and traded away their first round pick.
That's true. I doubt they will because of that. That's a good point. I got the Packers drafting Benjamin Morrison, the corner from Notre Dame.
I cannot tell you how much my brain is not ready for draft talk yet. I got my birthday on Friday. I got the Super Bowl Sunday. It's my super birthday weekend.
Next week we'll get you started. Next week. Yeah,
I'm not ready yet. Okay?
Abe, what do you think? Where's the perfect fit for Myles Garrett?
Well, me being in Atlanta, I just talked about this for an hour and a half just now.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a perfect fit. He's 29 years old. I feel like with Jeff Ulbrich coming, and I'm just talking from an Atlantic perspective. Jeff Ulbrich defense from a 3-4 back to a 4-3. You got a guy that will give you 11 to 12 sacks automatic. It's not even it's not even if he's going to get that. He's going to get that. And if you want to build this defense, not just for this year, having Penix here, having an offense that that going to be able to score, having a defense that has a pass rush that's consistent for the next 5 to 6 years. So it'd be easier for other guys to come in and want to play there. Like you can understand, like if you got Myles Garrett on the other side, there's going to be other pass rushers you can get in the first or in the second round. Plus him, that's the kind of thing that I've never really had, except for when I went to Arizona. I ended up getting Calais Campbell. You know, I had sorry, yeah, I went to Calais Campbell, and I had Darnell Dockett. I had like guys that could move, and I was like, wow, this is different. And if you get Myles Garrett and you think about Grady Jarrett, man, Grady's a little older now, and he's been kind of nicked up the last couple of years. For him, when you say stress level goes down, like when I went to Arizona, like I didn't have to worry about just me getting sacks because Calais could, or Darnell, or even we had Dansby. So it was just like, dude, only thing I do is my job. Like all I gotta do is just like rush the passer and dropping coverage every now and then, but I can do my job. I don't have to worry about I'm the only guy getting to the quarterback. Like I think, and when you're thinking that, like I could literally play football when I was in Arizona. I could play the run like I want to. I can do this. I'm not sitting here waiting for the opportunity to get a sack. I'm like, if I get a sack, I get a sack. But no, I could just play ball because I knew everybody else had their jobs like to the fullest. So bringing him in and possibly trading Cousins now, because Cousins said he don't want to trade close. So trading him to Cleveland, he gets a new start because you know your boy ain't gonna be Deshaun out pretty much, and so you can take Myles, get here. You know, it's only like I think a $19 million or $25 million cap hit, and then Atlanta could start over. Y'all can start over with Kurt. You know, Kurt just came out and said he was hurt playing in the season, so that's not a good look for the fans. Like they pissed off. They're like, why the hell did you play then? Like, like shoot, y'all gave him $100 million. He wanted to make sure y'all feel that.
Wasn't the biggest issue with that team this season though? Like
no, he was.
No.
No, he was.
Trust me.
I shouldn't have to say once a week, oh my God, was that a defensive play by the Atlanta Falcons? That was crazy.
No, I would say that the DBs are terrible. Like I've said this the whole year. I've said it. The front
that defense needs some
the front four is like the best part. The linebackers were slow. The linebackers terrible. We had a cornerback in AJ Terrell that's great. Bates is good. Simmons hasn't really showed me like the All Pro thing here. But when it came to just bad passes and bad ball, it was Kurt. Like on offense,
offense was bad. I'm just saying defense. I rarely saw a good defensive play from that team, and every time I did, I was like, "Oh my God, was that defense? Yay, guys, good job!" Like I talked so much shit.
They had a couple games at the end where they had like 5 to 6 sacks, and I think it came just because they had to blitz more. And I said because Ellis is probably the only pure pass rusher they had, even though they had bought somebody in Judon but Judon just didn't have it this year because Judon said
he wasn't clicking there.
He said he was just doing his job. So I don't know exactly what. And trust me, I've been in situations that I've had 10 sacks in a year, and I probably should have had 20, but I had to do my job. You know, I went around the corner if I did this. So, and it's a tough thing, and you don't like to see players have down years because especially in football, it's part of football. But we expect so much more because you're getting paid this way, and if you do something consistently, we're expecting it every time. So it is what it is. But I hope for Kirk for the best. I hope Falcons the best. I hope Green Bay for the best, and fuck Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
This is why Abe's my favorite.
This is the best fit for him, for Myles Garrett. It's not Atlanta's a good one, but they're a close second. The best fit for Myles Garrett is Amanda's Buffalo Bills. Imagine you get Myles Garrett on that D-line with Ed Oliver and those guys. That could be the next step they need. If I were the Bills, I'd go all in. I'd get Myles Garrett and T. Higgins. We're set.
And a receiver. They need another
I don't know if they're gonna let Myles Garrett stay in the AFC. Like
I think he's going to an NFC team.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think they're like, because when I was leaving the Jets, they was like, nah, he can go here, but like I promise you, I went to Seattle, I went to Washington, and I went to Atlanta. They was like, nah, you ain't gonna stay in the AFC. We ain't gonna see you.
None of this Ben Johnson shit staying in the fucking division.
No, you're not gonna.
Now the
How
teams are
about
Eskimo brothers. It's gross.
Eskimo Bros. Amanda, how about Cooper Cup? The Rams are expected. They've told him that they're going to trade him away. Where's a good
Green
spot
Bay.
for Cooper Cup? Green
I
Bay?
like him better than T. Higgins. T. Higgins has missed more games than our
You
number
can,
one Christian Watson, who everyone's like, oh no, he misses too much playtime. Let's bring in T. Higgins. T. Higgins has missed one more game than Christian Watson over the past 2 years. I want a player who's on the field. Cooper Cup personality wise, I think he'd be adorable in there with Jane Reed and stuff. I think he would fit. We just need a receiver. He seems mad though. The way he
Mhm.
tweeted and the way he's talked about them telling him he was going to get traded, he seems pissed. The vibe
Let
I'm getting, I don't know.
the Packers don't need anybody. They can have Chase Claypool. He might be available.
Grandpa
John,
Claypool can go to the old people's house. No.
Man, I don't even want to talk about that.
All right. It's getting heated. I feel like we should just wrap it up.
to me, if the Bengals lose T. Higgins, they could go get Cooper Cup.
Yeah.
A great fit for Cooper Cup, I think, the Ravens.
No.
I think that could be nice.
They have too much talent already. That's enough. No more cheat codes.
What about Miami? Hill's trying to get out of there. What about Miami?
Ooh,
Dolphins would be a good fit.
yeah.
I'll take
I heard
Tyreek in
some-
Green Bay.
I heard some people were interested in trying to get Tua out of Miami as well. So I don't know. We'll see what happens to the Dolphins. But
What are they going to do with him? Are they going to put him in a health facility, like inpatient? Like they're trying to rescue him from football? Like what do you mean out of Miami?
I don't think nobody want them problems. I think.
But yeah, I mean, we'll pretty much end it there. I mean, we're gonna keep it short. The Super Bowl is on Sunday. Can't wait. But exciting times, and go Eagles, right? I think we're all in agreement. Go Eagles. John's probably gonna pick the Chiefs just to pick against
Who do I
us.
want to win? Who do I think will win? Nah.
I can go for Philly and pick the Chiefs. That's just common sense. Like, that's just common sense. Well, that's common sense work. So I just feel like the Chiefs are the better team. I've said this. Have I been saying this since week like 2, 3? Like it's not like I've changed.
Yeah.
I've
You
always
and
said
Hugh have been in agreement with that all year long. You and Hugh have been saying the same thing. Like we need to see someone beat the Chiefs before we can pick it.
Exactly.
At least let them have a bad fucking year. Then we can like, oh, they get the playoffs, they might lose this, but they just had a great year playing like shit.
Yeah.
I hope they play like crap next year. Like I hope the Chiefs end the season like 3 and something. So like we can get like a Patrick Mahomes like comeback tour the next year. Like I want to see them have some like hard times to overcome, Like they haven't had to overcome anything since Mahomes got there. Like, not like you guys need to go through some shit. Like, where's your trauma? Okay, what the fuck is this?
Maybe they win, they three-peat. Andy Reid retires. Mahomes decides to retire. Kelsey retires. Then we'll be done with this team completely. Maybe we should root for the three-peat.
No, they're gonna get the three-peat. Taylor Swift's gonna get a proposal. She's gonna say yes. It's gonna be It's gonna be the whole. It's already decided. I don't know why we're even fucking talking about it.
Well,
Taylor Swift is gonna do the halftime show next year at the Super Bowl. Like, come on, let's not pretend this isn't already written.
Right.
Fly, Eagles, fly. We're gonna end on that note. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Have a great week, guys, and peace out.